Alright guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about Shaman and how exactly you should be building him to make sure your playstyle is as efficient as possible. Let's jump right in. So I'm already set up at the training grounds here, so I can show you guys how exactly you're going to want to play, depending on whether or not you're going to be utility or straight up damage. So first of all, let's just start with our talents. At tier 1, you're going to have a choice, and unfortunately, it is only going to affect your stun orb. So allow me to quickly put the stun orb. For anyone that doesn't play the Shaman, it's pretty self-explanatory. You lay the totem down, it's going to spawn an orb. It's going to do minuscule damage, and when you throw it, it will momentarily stun your enemy. Originally, it doesn't do that much damage. It's extremely low and only used for stun. So, immediately at level 5, you have the choice here of choosing Stunning or Stay Put. Stunning is your stun lasts for less time but does increase damage. Now, they don't go into the specific on that increase, so I wanted to show you guys today exactly what that means. I don't have a Potion of Forgetfulness on hand, so I'm just going to let you guys know. I'm level 12 at the moment. My stun orb does about 1,000 damage. If I were to take this off, my stun orb would actually only do a whopping 250 damage. So that is a quadruple in damage. It still doesn't turn out to mean much if you compare it against, let's say, a lightning orb. The lightning orb still does 50% more. So it's not a viable damage orb by any means, but a lot of people are using the stun orb because it does cancel enemy animations. The whopper here is your stun is actually going to last less time, so as you can see, he doesn't stay stunned for very long at all. It's not a big deal if you ask me personally. I run this because the only time I'm going to use this orb is to cancel an enemy heal or an enemy power attack if I have the chance to. Now, a lot of people will say to choose Stay Put, doubling the duration of your stun. This can be viable, I won't lie. It does work. It stuns them for quite a long time. If you're playing solo, I say this is more helpful than if you're playing in a group. Because if you're about to die, let's say your opponent's at half health, you're about to die, you can stun them, they'll stay stunned for a while, you can reset your totems, get one of your debuffs set up, and immediately start attacking again. Maybe even get the burst you need to win the fight. But I will say, all in all, choosing this is going to be better, because if you're using that orb, more damage is more fun. So, I do recommend the left tree here. The only time I would recommend using this stun here is if you're using a well-communicating team, because if you're playing, let's say you're playing a public event, if you stun an enemy and someone else hits them, it will actually take off the stun. So, if everybody's just hitting the same target and you're trying to stun them, unless you let everybody know that you're gonna stun and they stop attacking, your stun will not stay. So you might as well take the damage while you can. Moving on to level 10, and I have had a chance to play with both of these with the Potion of Forgetfulness, and I will also, again, recommend the left tree. Fire consumes. Fireball will apply a damage over time to weakened enemy. Allow me to explain a little further. So this is a normal fireball's damage, and as most of you that play Shaman will know. Let's see here, if I can find you an actual description. If you use a lava totem or a frost totem, it will afflict them with a weakness to your magic, increasing the damage of your fireball and lightning totems. So if I place a lava totem, if I throw this fireball, I'm only going to do about 2,000 damage. If I were to place a lava totem and allow it to tick once, I will do 3,500 damage. I think that's a 75% increase. Throwing after 2 debuffs ups that even more. 150% increase in damage. That's amazing. So you guys should definitely be using at least one AoE totem. The frost totem will work as well, but the lava totem is going to give you more damage. Now the cool thing about this is what they mean by weakened enemies here is a debuffed enemy. So if you throw this, and I believe that counts any debuffs from any other class. So if he's debuffed and I use my fireball, you're going to see it tick damage there, and I think at 2 debuffs it's about 20% of the fireball's damage. The cool thing here is that you don't actually need 2 ticks to make it work. So I can show you guys here. Just having one activation of this debuff allows me to get the same amount of damage from the damage over time. So if you're starting in battle, you don't actually have to wait for it to tick twice. You can just get that fireball right out there for that extra. Moving on to the other choice here, we do have the choice of Blazing Speed. The Shaman's base speed is increased at all times. I did have the chance to test this out. It is a very minuscule boost. I will say probably 5 or 10%. And with the latency in this game, a lot of times you still will not go any faster. You'll just see someone else skip right past you. I don't find it worth it. If they were to boost this up to a much larger amount in combat, the only useful thing I can think of is if you were in combat, you throw in fireballs, and then an AoE attack spawns on top of you, and you're forced away from your totems. It'll allow you to get back to your totems fast. Or if you're chasing down a target and you need to relocate, you'll be able to throw your totems and get there quick. Other than that, I would definitely choose the damage on the fireball. Moving on to level 15, haven't had a chance to test any of these yet, but from what I'm looking at here, Reach, you can grab orbs off of a totem from a small distance away, or your totems last longer before despawning. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just shoot this one out of the water now. You're going to want to pick the left tree here, because, first of all, if you notice, when you're in a fight, most of the time, you're looking straight down to grab your orbs, and normally you don't even look up, you just throw your orbs out. Being able to grab them from farther away means all you need to do is see the peripheral of your orbs, and you can grab them from here and throw them at your enemy. This is going to change your gameplay quite a bit until they actually take into consideration this and actually let us raise the orbs ourselves. Making your totems last longer to me is a pointless talent, because as you can see, these orbs spawn about 4 seconds. If I were to throw these and throw new totems down, that's faster than 4 seconds, so why would I want to sit with the same totems? Why not just use new ones? Yeah, it makes no sense to me. Why would you make the totems last longer? So moving on, you're going to want to pick Reach. There's no point in choosing Longevity, so just get it out of the way. Level 20, you're going to have 2 choices here. When your Lightning Orb crits, it instantly respawns on your totem. That is huge. If you were to throw this and get a crit, immediately throw another one. Not to mention, this hits more than one target at once. If you look into the description, it's actually going to arc to nearby enemies for additional damage. I'm not sure if that crit damage will carry over to the chain, but it's likely. So your other choice here would be Totemic Call. Once every 10 seconds, you can point to a place totem and teleport to it. If you teleport at least 4 meters, for a short period after teleporting, your damage is increased. What this means is, if you're in the middle of a fight, especially if you need to relocate, you throw your orbs, and you can throw a totem over there, teleport to it, and immediately get a damage buff. Now, this could be a really big damage buff, like the stun orb, or this could be, a 10 or 20% buff. Either way, it is a pretty big deal. The only thing that I will complain about here is when you hit level 30, you're going to get all in. The first orb generated by a totem is guaranteed to crit. This is going to go hand in hand with strikes twice. This means when you get into combat, you know that both of these orbs, once you put this down, you're going to hit 2 crits immediately. And if you have that left talent at level 20, you're immediately going to take another lightning orb and throw it. By the time you're done, you'll more than likely have 2 more totems to lay down. They're immediately both going to crit, and you're going to get your lightning back for critting. So really, these two link. There's no point in hitting the right tree when you hit level 30, because you're going to miss out on this huge deal right here. Depending on what this buff is, and I hope it's huge, because if it's not, everybody should be picking the left tree. If anybody does, know exactly what this buff is, please list it down in the comments below so I can reply to it and come back at level 20 and really test it for everybody. The other choice at level 30, after we already talked about critting, if you miss a thrown orb, instantly respawns. This is pointless, okay? If you look at this and this, there is no comparison absolutely here. Hitting a critical in battle is so much more important, and if you're playing like you should be, you shouldn't be more than about this far away from your target, and unless you're using palm shots, it's not that hard. It's really not that hard to hit them, and if you're having trouble, I don't recommend throwing like this as a bowling ball if your cord is on the floor. I have actually ripped mine out of my PC before like this, but it's really easy to hit them. Like, they're not that hard. So missing and having it respawn, I feel like that's just a sniper talent, and we're not snipers, we're shamans. So pointless once again. So all in all, just run straight down the left tree here. I know you guys might like the utility, but none of these are worth it. This is about the only thing I could say is going to be worth it, and that's if you're by yourself and it gives you the time to reallocate all of your abilities. Give you the time to bring back a fight from where you're at. Otherwise, more damage, more damage, more damage, way more damage. And then, you know, this is pointless, so why would you take it? Other than that, what I can tell you guys, right now at level 12, what I've noticed, when you're using these totems, I honestly don't even use the stun orb.
Let's go back.
Yeah, let me get rid of this. Okay, so what I use the stun orb for, if I'm fighting somebody that has the cure ability, if they're gonna heal themselves, that is the only reason that I would be using this orb. And in any instance, you can switch to it whenever you want. And no matter how long that stun is, it's still going to interrupt the attack, or the cure, or the smash, whatever the ability is you're trying to interrupt. You don't need an extended time to interrupt it. So why not just take some extra damage while you're at it? Personally, and I'll show you guys exactly how I run. Because of being early game and me trying to farm up a bunch of different creatures for different quest lines, I've been playing with 2 AoE totems and 2 damage totems, and what this allows me to do, whereas normally you would throw a totem, you get 1 debuff, and you can either hit them now or wait, and then hit them. And this, you know, then you gotta wait for your orbs to respawn, and it usually takes, you know, 2 bursts to kill somebody. What I've been doing lately is taking both of these AoE totems, throwing all 4 of my totems down, they immediately get both debuffs and a slow, and I get my enhanced damage. I think this is the absolute best way to deal the most damage at once, especially if you have a paladin on your team that can stun enemies out of their abilities for you. I use this in dungeons any chance that I get because it's immediate, and not on top of that, if you throw them one at a time, let's say, then you don't ever have to wait for one on cooldown. So if the enemy is constantly moving, you can constantly relocate. Yeah, that's some really good stuff to know here, guys. There's a few bugs with the shaman class. A lot of these talents here, as you can see, near useless. I think they should buff this. I don't think this should be here at all, nor should this. And I do go over that on the Orbis development website. I have a lot of feedback put down on there if you guys go check it out. My name's Christian McGee. I feel like you guys should go on there. Tell me what you think of my ideas. I've actually brought up a lot of new talent ideas that you guys might actually be interested. So check it out, guys. So that's going to be it for the video. If you guys learned anything today, please leave a like. I'm just starting off, and it will help me so much. If you guys want to know more about the Shaman and Orbis VR Reborn, I will mostly be playing this game lately and making videos on it to try to boost up my viewers. So go ahead and subscribe. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's great. I'll be here. So you know, catch me on the stream. I'm an Estus Junkie on stream as well for Twitch. So if you guys want any more content like this, or you want to see what it looks like out there, there's not a lot of people streaming right now, and I'm actually pretty upset about it because this is one of those games, anybody that likes a good MMO adventuring game is gonna love this game, and I feel like people need to know about it, because the more people that play, the more the devs are gonna catch on to what we want and try to help us make it happen. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video today. Thank you for joining me.